I was there that day that you handed the black hat to Rusty.
Yeah, I was.
Tell us about that day.
I went along for that ride myself. But that, look,
didn't you tell him to take that $100,000 and choke on it?
$200,000. And
I can't wait to comment on this one.
No, but let me tell you what. So I had a really fast car, but it got
not fast enough.
Well, he got to me, but it's the last.
I had a faster one.
In all honesty, it was partly my fault, but I didn't think he could pass me, because I would beat him down the straight. I had a B&R motor in the car. These things were bad fast, and that thing would fly down the straightaway. And I got a little loose in the corner, so I'm being protective. And I got in the corner a little too hot and pushed up the hill, and here he comes and just spins me out. Well, I couldn't believe it. I mean, he spun me out. So I'm raising hell. I'm saying, to put me back up there beside him, and we're going to have a hell of a race. And they wouldn't have made me start in the back. But it wasn't all his fault. He spun me out.
So do you want to hear the real story?
Yes, we're ready for the real story.
Okay. This is what we're here for. Now, you guys,
this is not going to end well.
You guys are all real smart on the cars, okay? So that third segment kicks off, and that thing is flying. And Darrell gets a big jump on me.
I'm gone.
And he's gone, and I said, I'm running out of time. I said, hell with it. And I just dumped that thing in there as far as I could go, and I just never lifted. I'm just going to try to do the slide.
Did you do that? Did you close your eyes too?
No.
Damn near. And that's what happened. So I get up there.
I heard him.
And I slide up in there, and I touch him in the left rear quarter panel. He goes around. I go on to win the race. But I was frustrated with myself because I knew we had a fast car. And boy, as a driver, man, when you know you got the fastest car and somebody else is beating you, it's making you mad as hell.
But you know what? I never realized how bad that got. Because remember, our teams fought.
Yeah,
they got in a fight down in the pits, and Hammond and all of them, Barry and all of them, they got in a fight. And then you went home, and you had to have FBI to come and protect you.
I did.
Because people were after you.
Well, you had $200,000 in his hands.
I go to Victory Lane. I'm in Victory Lane, and they got an ambulance parked behind Victory Lane. And I'm like, what is that there for? And Humpy Wheeler's down there, and he said, they're trying to kill Rusty. Those fans were so mad. They put me in an ambulance and drove me around the track and took me upstairs to the, what do they call that thing up there?
Winners Club or something.
Yeah, right there. Took me up there, and I walked in, and the whole entire place, every single person in there booed me. And you talk about feeling like crap, man. And so then he takes me home in that ambulance, puts me in my house, and puts 3 security guards there all night long. And my daughter Katie's upstairs. She comes down and said, Dad, I don't know what's going on. There's a bunch of police down there. What happened?
Well, about that.
And I said, well, it's a long story. I'll tell you later, you know. Oh, man. But, boy, I tell you what, they hated me for a long,
So that's
long,
when you put the hat on.
Boy, they hated me. Well, I guess that's what it was.
Yeah.
What about the incident where you did the mad 100-yard dash? And I wish we'd had a stopwatch on that one.
What a terrible
After the race
idea.
of being just totally teed off at a driver that a lot of the people in the sport thought was a really good guy.
I thought these rivalries are way better to talk about. There's no reason to talk about
Yeah, but look here.
There was nothing happened. That was the worst thing that happened about all of it is I ran my ass off. I mean, I could have pulled a hamstring. I could have.
I didn't know you could run that fast.
If I ran him down and got to him, I was going to have to take a break. Hold on a second. Hang on. I'm going to whoop your ass, but I'm going to need a second. It was bad. It was a hell of a lot longer around there than I thought.
And you were going to win that race.
The implications of the championship, the money that's on the line, that cost me a lot of money. And probably my one and only shot at a championship that I ever had, and I knew it. And I was hot. I was ready to.
So when you run all the way down
something.
there and you get down there, where is he?
He told me he was locked the door in the lounge of his hauler.
I know you were looking all around the round.
Yeah, I tell you who I found though. Right at the back door, you see that me running around there, and I get to the back door, and the jack guy standing there in that void in the hauler. And let me tell you something, he filled that void very well.
Those jack guys are big boys.
You're not
man.
going through that.
No.
Yeah.
My opinion changed of this fight scenario quickly.
Man, I'd have been so mad if I'd have ran that hard all the way around, and I get to the truck and it's like, where are they at? I can't get to them. I can't do nothing.
The only opportunity I had at a fight was not going to go well.
You've still got a couple drivers you don't
There's
converse
a
with.
couple. Yeah, there's a couple that I don't really converse with.
How does this all develop over a period of time? Is it one incident? Is it a multitude of things?
One of the drivers, when he came into the sport, was making a name for himself as wrecking people, crashing people. Like, he came in from a bottom team and worked his way up and got up, but then he was you know, running into things and people and wrecking. And so from that point, it's like,
You talking about Brad?
maybe. And so you lose respect for the guy when he does that sort of stuff, right? And then you're running around him on Sundays and whatever, and then he runs over you. And it's like, the hell, you know? And you always feel like you're never ahead, right? You're always behind. Like the number of times in which I've been wrecked and I owe people, my list is way longer of O's than it is of takes. So,
I don't think there's ever been a driver live that's the other way, by the way.
Right, that's what I mean.
No way.
Okay, so here's my question. You take those 4 guys and you put all those 4 guys in a rivalry, who's coming out on top? I mean, I'm talking like DW from the past and Rusty from the past.
I don't know, man. It's hard to go against Darrell Waltrip. In his prime, he was, what do they call him, Jaws?
The mouth and the way he drew.
He was pretty hot on both sides. It's fun to watch him, even after all these years. They still go back and forth, and you can tell that anger in Rusty's eyes when he was hearing.
As all drivers, you never forget, right? When something like that goes on, you don't forget. I mean, I guarantee you, Rusty Wallace tells that story, and Darrell tells that story. Their stories of how it really went down, and they remember it bit by bit.
And all the crew members, you know, they're invested too. You know, it's their guy out there on the racetrack. And a lot of times, if something happens, Shannon, they're losing bonus money out. They want to be in victory lane, so it's personal for them too.
It's funny because it seems like 3 of those guys don't want to forget, but Clint does not want to remember. Every time we bring up that video of him running at Phoenix after Jeff Gordon, he's like, come on, really?
Well, you know, he's going to be on TV this weekend for the Daytona 500, so he doesn't want people talking about it. I think the other guys still maybe enjoy a little bit.
Well, obviously, he was upset because, you know, it did cost him that championship, that possibility to win that championship, and, you know, but he was out of breath, and he's probably still out of breath, I guess, you know, because he don't want to talk about it. But what a funny episode to watch him going after him and then him not be there.
That was great, Shin. Is there like a part B or C? Or D? Hopefully that tape just keeps on rolling. And Mike Joy's the perfect guy to be right in the middle of those guys.